Lesson 2, researching other brands and getting inspiration from them. In this lesson, I have prepared a couple of brands which we can research live, and I'm going to show you how you can look at these brands and take inspiration from them. So let's dive right into my computer. So here we have the first brand, which is called HiSmile. You may have seen it on TikTok or anywhere on Facebook, but they are going pretty damn viral on TikTok. So this is a brand where you can take a lot of inspiration from. Here you see they have 1.4 million followers. I'm on their Instagram. As you see, the first thing that pops up is Kim Kardashian, which promotes their products. And as you see, they just have a very strong brand presence on Instagram. So what you can do is you can go to their website. As you see, they are selling these products, which are selling for this purple teeth whitening is called. They're selling it for 23 euros. They're having a sale right now. You can just go to their product page, go to their website and take inspiration from it. Because what I'm trying to teach you is that no brand is perfect. Every brand has its weaknesses, which you could improve on and do better on. So for example, this brand is obviously pretty big, but it doesn't mean that you cannot replicate them. And what I'm saying, just to be clear, what I'm saying is not copy them. Don't blindly copy them. Please get out of the dropshipping mindset to blindly one-on-one copy something and just don't change anything in there, because you get DMCA'd. For people that don't know what DMCA is, it's basically a notice and takedown. They can take you down from your website. They can ban you on Facebook, and etc. etc. It can bring a lot of issues and which you don't want to experience. So please don't copy something one-on-one. Always take inspiration from it, give your own twist to it, and that way you build something for yourself. You don't want to copy anything. So the second brand which I want to dive into deep into is also a teeth whitening brand, which is called Snow. They just have @Snow on Instagram. As you see, 3.4 million followers. So this one is even bigger. And as you see, it's a very active Instagram. They have Ellen DeGeneres as promoter. And this is the goal where you want your brand to move to. These brands, HiSmile, Snow, and the brands that I'm just going to show you are great examples of what you are trying to achieve in here. You want to have a strong brand presence, which is not just dependent on ads and first-time customers. As you see with this following, they are probably crushing it, because I'm going to show you guys some ways where you can see that they are crushing it. Third brand which I want to show you all is Crafted London. This is a lot of people don't know this one, but if you're in the UK you might know it. But it's basically a jewelry brand which has a lot of weaknesses, by the way. I won't dive too deep into the weaknesses yet, but later in this course I will, which could be improved on, and you could take inspiration from their brand, improve their products, improve their branding, and do better. Of course, not with the same name, but with a completely different brand. Another brand which I want to show you is Shop Gold. Basically GLD, Gold, whatever you want to call it. As you see, they are 1.3 million followers, but you see they have promotion with Kai Cenat, a lot of other rappers. I see Lil Baby wearing their products, Justin Bieber is wearing their products. I mean, they have all the celebrities wearing their products. That's the way where you want to move to with your brand. Like I said before, you don't just want to have your store out there, run Facebook ads, and that's it. I mean, you're building a brand. So make sure that you take inspiration from these brands, see what you can improve on, what you could take as inspiration from them, and don't copy. Right now, for example, I showed you in the previous lesson that we are selling these portable blenders, right? That we are going to take these portable blenders as a case study. I already found a brand which you saw in the previous lesson, which is called BlendJet, right? BlendJet, they are selling these portable blenders. They have 724k followers. They even have collaboration with Pixar and Disney, so you know that they are doing well. So I want to give you a golden nugget on how you can spot which ads are working very well for a particular brand. So this golden nugget you won't find anywhere else, and I've figured it out over the years. So we're in Ad Library right now. You've seen Ad Library in the previous lessons, obviously. If you didn't watch it, go watch it back first before you go into this. But as you see, we're on Ad Library right now. We click on all like we done before, add category, we click on all ads, and basically we press in the brands we want to research. For example, in this example, we are researching HiSmile. So we are going to look up HiSmile, right? You can just press in HiSmile in there, and we can basically see all the ads they're running. And even with HiSmile, they are running 820 ads right now. So you know they are probably doing something well, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have run so many ads. So if you're scrolling through the ad library, there's a way how you can see which ads are doing well for them. So you can study these ads. So I'll dive deeper into the creative part in this course later. But as you see, you have to watch this number. this particular sentence in here, which is saying 5 ads use this creative and text. Each particular video has a different number, right? As you see in here. And with this sentence, you can determine which ad is doing very well for them, is their revenue maker. For example, if we scroll through the ads, we see 5, 2, 3, 6, 2. Some of them don't have any text yet. That means that they have 1. 4 ads, 7, and I'm scrolling through until I find something that stands out. And I found one. For example, you see that this ad is getting used 27 times. And the other ones were getting used 3 or 4 times or 6 times, right? So this one is particularly standing out. This particular ad is obviously doing well for them. Why would they duplicate it 27 times? So you can look out of all the videos they're testing that this one is doing pretty well. And obviously you can do this for all the other brands as well. But take this golden nugget. It's a very valuable one, how you can research the ads from other brands. Another note I want to give you is please don't think when you're looking at all these brands from HiSmile, Snow, Crafted, GLD, Blankjet, don't look at all these brands and think, oh, I could never do this. I could never compete with them. Because what I want to tell you is that all these products are findable on Alibaba. Trust me, all these brands, doesn't matter how big, they purchase their products somewhere in China. Doesn't matter, they don't have to use Alibaba, but you can find each product on Alibaba so you can achieve this as well. It just takes time and persistence. But to prove my point, I'll go into Alibaba right now and I'll look up HiSmile's product. For example, they are selling this purple teeth whitening. You can probably be overwhelmed and think I could never compete with them because they have a custom product which I could never copy and I could never be on their level. Well, I'm gonna show you and prove you wrong. For example, this particular purple teeth whitening, right? The only thing I have to do right now is look up purple teeth whitening on Alibaba, which I'm doing right now. Purple teeth whitening is already saying it here. We found a manufacturer, we found another manufacturer, we found another manufacturer, another one, another one, another one. As you see, I can buy it here for 80 cents. 80 cents to $1. And they are selling it for 23 euros. I mean, that's a pretty good margin, that's a times 20, right? Don't be overwhelmed. My point is don't be overwhelmed by finding all these products that you cannot find them because every product is found on Alibaba. So as I told you before, just take inspiration from these brands and just don't blindly copy them. I've showed you a couple of brands which I just found in here and you can take inspiration from them, research them, go to their website, look what their weaknesses are and which you could improve on. I'm not saying copy these brands, but I'm just showing you my mindset and my thought process behind researching these brands. So that's it for this lesson. And the next lesson, lesson 3, I'll teach you about how to fulfill and stock your products and the hybrid method. This one is going to be one of the most valuable ones in this course. So stay tuned for that one. I'll see you in the next lesson. Ciao. In my opinion, this is one of the most valuable and important lessons in this whole course. And I mean it when I say that you won't find this sauce on YouTube. Let's dive right in. You have you in here, I'll make you gold. Before we dive in, I want you to understand a very important note on 2 different terms which I use to avoid confusion. So you can basically use manufacturer and the agent as a supplier. It doesn't really matter, but supplier just basically means where do I get my products from? It can be directly from the manufacturer, it can be directly from the agent. Both ways are possible. But I'll explain to you here what the best hybrid way is to fulfill your product without any risk. So I'll explain to you here what is the first way which I experienced and what I did and where I made a mistake. So I'll remove the agent for now because the traditional way is finding a manufacturer. This manufacturer can be on Alibaba. Let's say if we find a manufacturer on Alibaba, in the next lesson, by the way, I'll dive deeper into how to find a good manufacturer on Alibaba, etc., etc. So I'll call it the manufacturer for now. The usual way is that you buy stock from the manufacturer. Let's say in this case scenario, I buy 100 blenders. I buy 100 portable blenders. This come to my home, and then I have to find a way to send it to this customer, right? I want to give a note on this structure in here. What you see is you buy 100 blenders from the manufacturer and the manufacturer sends them to you. You have the stock at your home. So the big downside to this is that first things first, that this process takes weeks. Shipping bulk from your manufacturer directly to you takes weeks, guys. I have experienced it before, and there are faster ways to ship. You can ship it with the sea or with airplane, but both ways are very expensive and both take very long. Let's say you are from the USA. I'm not from the USA myself, but I know a lot of you guys are. If you buy the 100 blenders from the manufacturer, it first has to ship to you in the USA, and then you ship it to the customer. And there are two ways how you can ship these products to you, these blenders to your customer. The first way is that you directly ship it from your home to the customer. This is what I did before, right? You saw all the packages in my home, and the big pro with this is that you learn the whole process from A to Z. You see the physical products, you feel them, and you know how to pack them, you know how the process goes. You can go to a postal office, use DHL, whatever you can use, and basically ship the products directly to the customer. The second way which you can also use is what I've used before, and which is my previous way of fulfilling products, is that there is another party which is called a fulfillment center. A fulfillment center is basically a third-party logistics. The manufacturer can I have to turn this one around, obviously, can send 100 blenders to the fulfillment center, and the fulfillment center then ships the products to your customer. This way you have faster shipping and you don't have to pack the orders yourself, which is my very first tip. These two ways you can use to fulfill your products. So with this method where you fulfill the products from home, which I did before, the big downside to it is that you are going to be a fulfillment center at home basically. You are going to be picking, packing and shipping out the orders the whole day. I've experienced it before. I don't really believe in a burnout, but when I was packing those orders, I was close to a burnout because I was still in high school back then. I was packing all the orders myself. I had a deadline at like 7 p.m. I remember that very vividly, and I had to reach that deadline, otherwise the packages wouldn't be shipped out. And I also had the deadlines on school. I had to do customer support myself. I had to do media buying myself. A to Z I had to do myself. And what I want to tell you is that your time is worth more than packing orders. Your time should be spent doing marketing, getting the sales in. You shouldn't spend so much time in packing the orders, and you should outsource this and let other people do this because your time is worth more in the business. But the biggest downside to this is that you have to buy stock. Let's say in the worst case scenario, these 100 portable blenders which you bought don't sell. They just don't hit. The first thing you did is you waited weeks until these blenders arrived at your home. That's the first downside to it. So you're already weeks further. And it was also very expensive, by the way. And the second downside is that you bought the stock without proof of concept. I would only use this method where you purchase the stock directly from the manufacturer to you and then fulfill it, or fulfill it, of course, with a fulfillment center. I would only use one of these two methods when you already have proof of concept. Because the big pro is that you can ship your products directly to the customer in 1 or 2 days, or maybe a bit longer, but that means you have faster shipping time. But the issue is, of course, that you don't have proof of concept and you can be left with the stock. But I would only do this when you already have proof of concept. Let's say I can change this 100 blenders, I can change to 10K blenders. And if I'm buying 10K blenders and I'm sending it first to the fulfillment center, then to the customer, and my customer gets the package within 1 or 2 days, of course you get more happy customers. But I would only do this structure when you already have proof of concept. The issue is that you cannot scale worldwide with this structure. Let's say I'm from the USA, right? The issue is that, let's say the stock right now is in the USA. The 100 blenders are in the USA. I cannot fulfill orders which are in Australia, Netherlands, Germany, you name it. You can only fulfill orders that are in the USA. Obviously it's possible, but it's gonna be very, very expensive. So when you use one of these two methods, you can only sell your products in your own home country because it's very hard to scale internationally with this structure. This hybrid method, which I'm gonna explain to you right now, it's best of both worlds. It's the pros of dropshipping, very low risk, very low starting capital, and of course also the pros from branding because you have very fast shipping and you can customize your products yourself. I'm gonna show to you right now what the hybrid method is. So the hybrid method, we have someone magical which will join right now. By the way, I need the customer still and I will need the manufacturer still. But we can leave this one to the left side right now. But we have a magical, very magical person in here, which I introduced before, but I am going to introduce one more time. So this person is called an agent. What does the agent do? The agent can source, buy, and ship your products. This actually means that the agent, I'm gonna give it a different color because it's so magical. This is literally a game changer. The agent can source, buy, and ship your products. So you don't even need a manufacturer anymore. The only thing you do is you pay them for product, cost of goods I call it. Cost of goods are basically your product cost plus shipping. And this agent does everything for you. And in my opinion, this is the way to start off. With this structure, you don't need any starting capital because the agent only fulfills your products whenever you got an order, right? Whenever you get an order, then you pay your agent for shipping or cost of goods. And this agent will ship the product once someone purchases it directly to the customer. But then you're probably asking, doesn't this shipping take very long? No. I have used this agent, and this is one of the best agents in the game. And this agent can ship these products to the customer basically within 7 days. Yes, it's very much possible. I have done millions of revenue with the agent, and it's great. And I'm also going to share the WhatsApp and the Skype of the agent which we use, which I personally use, in the description below, just for Capital Club members. And you got to realize, with this structure, you can basically scale worldwide, because this agent can ship to the customer wherever they are, whether your customer is in Germany, Netherlands, Scandinavia, USA, Australia, you name it. They can ship everywhere internationally within 7 days. So there's no boundaries to your target market. So I'm gonna explain to you right now how I do it myself. So let's say you have some experience and you want to find your own manufacturer. That's also possible, that's no problem. The only thing you change right now is that you use the manufacturer. I purchase stock. Let's say I purchase 100 blenders. I purchase 100 blenders from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer sends it to the agent, which only takes 1 day. Why does it only take 1 day? Because this manufacturer is in China, and this agent is also in China. This bulk shipment basically takes 1 day. This is also a possibility, but I would only do this when you're more advanced, because you're still buying stock in here. So it is a bit more advanced way. I do it this way, but if you're just starting out and you're just starting a brand, this is the way to go, which I'm explaining in here. You located in the USA, you just use the agent. They can source, buy, ship your products, whatever you want, and they can ship it directly to the customer. So in my opinion, this is a no-brainer. The hybrid structure is the structure to start with. You have the pros of dropshipping, you have very low starting capital needed, very low risk, you only pay for orders, and the pros of branding are that you can customize your products, because the agent can customize your products, put a logo on the products, can have branded packaging, can basically do everything for you A to Z. And also the pros of branding are obviously that you have faster shipping to the customer. So in my opinion, again, this is a no-brainer. Start with this structure, contact the agent, which I'm only sharing with Capital Club members, in the description below. If you have any questions, just let me know on Discord, but I hope it's clear, and I see you in the next lesson. Ciao. So lesson 4, finding a reliable supplier you can scale with. If you skipped the previous lesson, please go back and watch that one first. It's just so important that you cannot miss it, and otherwise you won't understand this particular lesson. So lesson 4 is going to be some sort of part 2 of where we left off, and I'll dive right into my computer screen. So this is where we left off last time, the hybrid method. So for the people that didn't listen, I'm gonna say it one more time, but this is the best ideal way to start. Just because you gotta realize that with this structure, with this hybrid way, you can basically the agent buys and ships your products from A to Z. You can even do branding with him, and you can ship internationally without the bottlenecks. Also within 7 days to the customer. This structure I especially recommend when you're just starting out a brand, or when you're just testing multiple products. Let's say I have a couple of potential products which I want to brand. And especially when you want to test out multiple brands, then this is the best way to do it, because you only pay the agent whenever you get an order from the customer. So it's pretty low risk. In this particular lesson, I want to go over the manufacturer and where to find good suppliers, right? And I'm using a lot of different terminologies if you're sharp, so I'm gonna explain it in a minute, no worries. As I explained in the previous lesson, there's also a optionality where you use a manufacturer, which you can find on Alibaba, right? And you purchase stock from them, and the manufacturer then sends it to the agent in bulk in 1 day, right? Which we discussed in the previous lesson. And let's say you buy 100 blenders, right? Or you buy 1,000 blenders. Let's say in this scenario, we buy 1,000 blenders, and you want to find the manufacturer yourself, which can ship it to the agent. I wouldn't recommend it at all, by the way. This is the way I do it, but I already have proof of concept. So the only scenario where I would recommend it is if you already have proof of concept, so you can take the risk of finding a manufacturer yourself and sourcing the products, because you gotta realize, when you do this left process in here, when you find the manufacturer yourself in Alibaba, and you test out the samples, this takes weeks. Like I said before, you have to get the sample to your home, you gotta test it out, then you have feedback on the sample, and you gotta get back with the feedback, you gotta get a feedback sample with feedback back, and then you finally have a final product, which takes weeks. I would only recommend this when you already have proof of concept and you are so confident about the product that it's gonna hit, that you see too much potential to directly ship it with the agent. But I always recommend you to just start with the right structure, just because it's just lower risk and you can test quickly, and you know if something works before you gonna pursue it. Like I said in the beginning of this course, speed is key in here. We have no time to lose. We just want to test out the products as soon as possible and see if it works, and then start to brand it with the own manufacturer. But this right part in here, this one you could potentially and hypothetically use forever. Like I said before, I'm gonna explain to you about the word supplier. So basically I use the word supplier for manufacturer and I use supplier for an agent. And in this particular lesson, I'm talking about a supplier which I'm gonna find and how to find a reliable supplier. With that one, I'm talking about the manufacturer. So just to be clear, in this lesson, I'm talking about the manufacturer, on this side, and on the right side, we have the agent, which I'm talking about in the module 6, lesson 1, where we do an interview with the agent. And one more thing I want you to remember, if you're going to pursue this with finding a supplier on Alibaba, which I'm going to explain in a minute, please remember, you could have the best perfect product out there, but nobody would see it. That's why it's so important to just start with the right structure first without this manufacturer. Because without this structure, you can test first, know if something works, and then pursue the quality. By the way, the agent already has very good quality, but let's say you want to find your own suppliers, then you can do this left structure. But please know, you can spend weeks testing samples, getting the perfect product in, but if nobody sees it, it doesn't really matter, right? So if you want to pursue this left structure, I'm gonna show you how to find good manufacturers on Alibaba right now. So here we are on Alibaba. Alibaba, you can basically find each product, every product you desire. Basically, every product your heart desires, you can find on here. Like I showed before, the HiSmile product we could find, and I'm sure we can find anything A to Z on here. So let's say we are looking for portable blenders. I can look up a portable blender on Alibaba, right? Pretty easy, just type in the product you're looking for. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it on there. You have a lot of different suppliers which I see on here. So don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. I'm gonna guide you through it. So basically, the first thing I would do if you're just starting out, especially when you're just a beginner, on the left side here, we see a supplier feature, which is called trade assurance. Enable this trade assurance. What does it mean? Trade assurance basically means that whatever happens, left or right, you cannot get scammed by your supplier, because Alibaba will refund you if whenever you get scammed or don't get delivered on your products, or the promise doesn't get delivered of the quality of the product. Basically, it's a reassurance, a money back guarantee. So trade assurance if you're just starting out, and overall, my experience with Alibaba is that you can hardly get scammed on here. It's very, very difficult to get scammed on here. And in my opinion, if you're getting scammed on Alibaba, you're the issue and not Alibaba is the issue. So don't worry about Alibaba or getting scammed or anything. Each supplier is on here. I find all my suppliers on there. So this is the best way to find suppliers. As you see on here, I see tons of different suppliers. And how do I choose from one? Basically, just scroll through it, click on a couple of them and just go through their profiles. And one very important detail which you can find out is here we have a verified supplier, and here we have a word which is saying custom manufacturer. This means that this is the manufacturer themselves, because you got to realize one simple fact. On Alibaba, there are two different kinds of terminology which are being used. You have a trading company, which you sometimes see on the supplier's profile, and this basically means that you're getting dropshipped and you're working with an agent. Is it a drama? No. For sure you can use it, it doesn't really matter, but it's always better when you work with the manufacturer directly. So please check this terminology. If you see manufacturer in here, it's very good. So basically, to guide you through this whole process of finding a good manufacturer, I've already prepared a cheat sheet, which I'm gonna go into right now. So basically here I have the cheat sheet in front of me, and I prepared it for you already, so to guide you through finding a good supplier, manufacturer, however you want to call it. Here, as you see, I have prepared a script. I call this the supplier script. Basically, it starts with hello, my name is XXX, and basically you can fill in all your info, and we ask a couple of questions. Of course, feel free to customize the message however you want, but in my experience, this is the best way to structure your message. Another tip, by the way, if you have a lot of questions which you want to ask your supplier, it's much better to ask the question in a numerical order so they don't miss any questions. So use this template, fill in your information, and I think it's pretty damn straightforward. So we now arrive at the second part of the cheat sheet. So I'm getting a lot of the questions about MOQ. If there's an MOQ which is too big for me, what can I do? Basically, if you don't know what MOQ means, it basically stands for minimum order quantity. Basically, it means that a lot of suppliers have a minimum order quantity, for example, for 500 pieces. That means that below this order quantity, you just cannot buy stock from them. So I have a couple of solutions prepared for you if there's a minimum order quantity. So let's dive right in. The first solution, if there's a minimum order quantity, the first solution is act bigger than you are. Say things like, we are a very big company in the USA and you're doing well over 10,000 orders per month on our web shops, but need a smaller quantity now to do some market testing. If the product hits, we are going to purchase a very large quantity from you, 10K plus. So you gotta realize, these suppliers are getting bombarded with hundreds of messages every day. So how are you gonna stand out? Of course, I wouldn't message them saying, I'm just a beginner, I'm just starting out, I just wanna buy 10 pieces and see if it works. I mean, at the end of the day, these Chinese suppliers, they all want to make money, right? Just like us. And if they getting bombarded with hundreds of messages every day, why would they respond to you if you're just a beginner? So that's why this has worked very well for me. Just act bigger than you are. If you're a big dog, they will treat you like a big dog. That's how I see it. And the second solution is use the agent I have in Module 2 Lesson 3, which I explained before, and also the interview with him in Module 6 Lesson 1. Contact info below. I also put his contact info here in case you didn't see it, but with the agent there's basically no minimum order quantity. So if you do not reach the minimum order quantity of the Alibaba suppliers, you can just use the agent and he can fulfill everything for you. Like I said before, the agent is in my opinion the no-brainer to start, especially because you don't want to test out hundreds of samples and you don't have time to lose. You basically just want to start as soon as possible, get proof of concept, and then potentially you can find your own manufacturer. So to end the lesson, I have an action point for you. Basically, go to Alibaba. We found all these suppliers, right? We press the importable blender. Press in the product on there, find 5 to 10 suppliers and reach out to them with the supplier script I gave you. Then your question probably is, how do I filter out the best supply out of these 5 to 10? In my opinion, there are always 2 or 3 which stand out the most. How I filter them is that communication is a very important part. Of course, price is also very important, but most of the times the prices are pretty similar to each other. But communication is very, very important. We want someone who can speak good English. Of course, if you can speak Chinese, it's even better, like me. But if you cannot speak Chinese, it's very important that their English is very good and that more important, that their response time is very fast. Because if they do not respond very quickly to you, you will regret it in the future. Promise me, if they do not respond within a couple of hours, you'll regret it. But like I said, if you're going to pursue your own manufacturer, your action point right now is to find 5 to 10 suppliers for your product on Alibaba and all reach out to them with the supplier script. And if you're smart and you just want to start as soon as possible, just use this right structure which I have on here and leave this left structure out. That's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson. Ciao.